Hey everyone, my name is Renee Storielli, or Miss Renee, as some of your kids might know me. I'm the Director of Studio Programs for the YMCA of Central New York, and today I'm coming to you from my home studio, where we're going to make some art. Every Friday, we'll be sending out a video of family fun art projects that you can do with things you probably already have around the house. So let's get started.
So today's art project is going to be inspired by an artist named Henri Matisse. Matisse was a French artist who was well known for using bright, bold colors. As Matisse got older, he wasn't able to stand at the easel to do traditional paintings, so he tried something new. He started cutting shapes out of paper and gluing them down to make a composition. He called this drawing with scissors, and that's what we're going to try to do today. In terms of materials for this project, all you need is some construction paper, a white piece of paper, a pair of scissors, and a glue stick. Once you have that, we're ready to get started. So we're going to start with our white piece of paper, and we're going to do some folding to make a grid for our project. So first we're going to fold the long way, or hot dog, as a lot of kids know it. You're going to make the corners kiss, and then make a crease for a nice fold. Then we're going to take the same piece of paper and fold again, this time hamburger, or the short way, and make a crease. And then one more time hamburger. Now you're going to open up the paper, and you should have 8 equal rectangles, and that's going to be the grid for our project. So the next thing we're going to do is find a way to create a bunch of construction paper rectangles that are going to about match the rectangles that we just put in the white paper. So the method I'm using here is I am folding up the construction paper the same way that we folded the white paper, and then I'm using scissors to cut along the lines and make the rectangles. Now, one of the reasons I love this lesson so much is because it's easily adaptable depending on who's doing the project. So this might be a good method for little kids to practice their folding and cutting. But with older kids or adults, you might want to approach this a different way. For older kids, you might make it a measuring exercise so they can practice using a ruler and measuring out shapes. But either way, at the end, we're going to end up with a bunch of colored rectangles. So now that we've got our colored rectangles cut out, we're going to go back to our white sheet of paper and take the colored construction paper rectangles and lay them out in the grid that we've made in any kind of way that's pleasing to your eye. So this is basically going to create the background for our composition. Now I'm not going to glue them down yet. I'm just going to lay them out, and then we'll come back to it when we're ready. For this next step, I'm going to bring in some art vocabulary. Organic shapes are curvy or rounded shapes without any straight edges that can be found in nature. So things like sea coral, leaves, fruits and vegetables, those are your inspiration for drawing organic shapes. And if we want to stick to what Matisse was doing, he almost exclusively used organic shapes in his compositions. So we'll try to do the same. Now you can draw your shapes out ahead of time on the leftover rectangles of construction paper and then cut them out. Or if you'd like, you can freeform with the scissors, since this is drawing with scissors after all. Next, we're going to talk about complementary colors. These colors are colors that are opposite each other on the color wheel. So we can see here red is opposite from green. And what that means is that these colors are really going to make each other pop or stand out. And that's something else that Matisse was really well known for doing. So I'm going to keep that in mind as I'm laying out my composition. So pull your background back in front of you and think about which colors pop. So obviously that orange did not pop on top of the orange. It's the same color. But orange on blue pops really well. They're complementary colors. Warm colors, yellow, orange, and red, are going to stand out less against each other than if you put them with a cool color. Cool colors are blue, purple, and green. So if you put a warm color on a cool color, even if they're not completely complementary, they'll stand out pretty well. So keep playing around until you have a composition that you're happy with. And since we didn't glue down our background yet, you can also move those rectangles around if you want. And older students might also want to play with overlapping to create interesting relationships between the colors. And now it's time to put it all together. So take your glue stick and you're going to attach your rectangles and your shapes to your original white piece of paper to create your final composition. Look at those colors, really poppin'. Now, older students or folks who are really enjoying playing with these color relationships may want to take this project a step further. You can integrate white or black and see what that does to the composition. It really creates a focal point. I've also seen a lot of people like to add 3D elements to this project. So take it wherever you want. Every experiment is valid and keeping you creative while we're safe at home during this time. Thanks so much for sharing your Friday with me. I hope you had fun. And please reach out, share your projects with us so we can see all the great work you're doing at home. And I'll see you next week for another Family Art Friday. Bye-bye.